And a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com, and welcome here to Night Moves for Tuesday, February 26th. We're in the grind of college basketball tonight as we wait a resumption of the NHL and NBA seasons. We got NBA coming up on Thursday, and of course, we're still in the midst of our hockey tournament here for sure. Big time fun and excitement in the hockey, both on the men's and women's side. We saw those big games today at the Winter Olympics with, of course, the United States defeating Sweden 5-0. The United States continues to roll here. Well, I picked three scores. You figured one of them was going to be right when we were on with Justin last night. We talked about those. Was it 4-0, 5-0, or 5-1? We hit it right in the middle at 5-0. So look, I did kind of say Sweden could hang within that margin. The spread was pretty much five, so we did have the under there in that one. We talked about it, or I told Justin about it there last night, and of course, also Canada gets the win 2-1. I mean, got to be a little bit of concern on the Canadian side. I was calling for a game that. Canada would win by a much larger margin than that. I had the game closer to 6 or 7 to 1 there last night, but obviously we had a little bit tighter game for sure there in the women's semifinal, but nonetheless, Canada's going to move on to take on the United States. So Canada got a couple of goals in the second period, and Switzerland got one in the third, and made it exciting there for sure. But U.S. Going to be a pretty big favorite in the game here. In the final here coming up this week. So, no doubt, great job by U.S. and Canada, what everybody expected to have happen. And those two teams will meet in the gold medal game. That will be on Thursday between the United States and Canada. That's what we wanted, and that's what we'll get. We'll get it also. Hopefully, on the men's side, might be a little bit dicier, but uh, nonetheless, should be awesome there in the match between Canada and USA. By the way, the line here is United States minus 2.5 at plus 105, 500 on the money line. The total 5.5 under 30, and that's at 1:10 Eastern time in the afternoon on Thursday, 10:10 in the morning Pacific. I think I got that time right. And how about, speaking of, we'll get into some college basketball recap. Then we'll talk basketball here tonight. We've got 8 games on tap that I'm going to discuss. But, you could have tied in the women's hockey with the Iowa State game there last night. Iowa State has a player on the team. They were talking about there last night. Nate Heiss and his sister's on the Olympic hockey team. How about that? And how about the game between Iowa State and Houston last night? Just did sneak over there last night. I thought it was just, I definitely was cautioning on that, but man, I liked the under in that game, but it did sneak over there. Iowa State getting the win there last night. They were down 10 with 7 minutes to go, and they survived a horrific 50% free throw shooting on the night. Now Iowa State, they've just beat Kansas. They just beat Houston, both at home in a 3-day span. I don't know what else you're looking for when it comes to the Cyclones using that home court advantage, certainly. But they did get the money, by the way, by a point there in most circles with the victory 70-67 there last night for Iowa State. So mostly 2.5s all the way around. Really never moved that much as the Cyclones got the win. Some other big games last night we talked about with Justin here on Night Moves. And man, did he nail it, didn't he, there with the over in South Alabama and Marshall. Marshall shot pretty well there from inside, and took a lot of 3-pointers, made enough of them there as Marshall got the win 84-80. They led by 12 at halftime and held on. Both teams are 9-5 in the Sun Belt, and I talked about the standings, right? Hard to figure out. I know all 4 teams are, I think, tied in the loss column, 4-way tie for first in the loss column. So not every team's played the same amount of games there. Right yet, but still, we don't even know which team's going to win the regular season title. I don't think in the Sun Belt. Uh, Duke did rock Syracuse 101-64 as Duke made 12 of 20 from three-point range and were extremely efficient in that game. Syracuse has lost 7 of 8. Also, Stony Brook over Drexel there last night, 72-69, as Stony Brook outscored the Dragons 9-2 over the last 2 minutes of the game, and the Seawolves are heating up. They've won 7 of their last 9. BU over Colgate, 85-58. Colgate 10-5 in the Patriot League. They're not going to catch Navy there in that one. Had some other winners here with Justin last night on Night Moves, as I brought home the winner with UL Lafayette and Old Dominion. We also had some nice picks here on the show last night. And the Olympic Games there, at least gave out a few. We talked a little bit about some of the Olympic events, and we'll see tonight some more great action at the Olympics. Last night, great job by the American there, the 41-year-old Elena Myers-Taylor winning the long shot there in the monobob. The favorite from Netherlands won the short track. Ben Slalom went to Maillard of Switzerland in there, and Japan won the gold, their first of the Olympics there in the free skate. Tonight at the Olympics, we have exciting action. Freestyle skiing, the American Podmolasak will be in the men's big air featured there, and also speed skating men's team pursuit. U.S. will be in medal contention there at the Olympic Games. All right. Also, Champions League tomorrow. We're down to bracketed knockout stage here. Juventus and Galatasaray, Atalanta and Dortmund, PSG and Monaco, and also Real Madrid and Benfica. So I'm going to be involved certainly in the Champions League card over at Tony'sPicks.com. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com. I'll say hello to everyone in the chat, but I want to go over and see who did well over at Tony's Picks on Monday. Man, I tell you what, I love my Monday night. I love my mid-major Monday night swacks and miaks and the like. But, man, I was getting nipped on a lot of those. Unpredictable night there. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and see who did well. Here we go over at the website. It was Damian Sosh, 2-0 on the night. Rod Zawacki, 3-1 there. Chris Atkins, 1-0. The VIP account, 1-0. Ron Hahn checks in on the leaderboard, 1-0. Jorge won his only play. Shane Mickle, 2-1 here. Tony T, 2-1 day there. David Racy, 3-2 last 7 days over at Tony'sPicks.com. It's still our man, Ron Crawford, atop the handicapper leaderboard, 6 1/3 units. Shane Mickle, 14-8. David Racy, up nearly 3 units. Brian Bittler, up 10-7 record there. Mills, a unit and 2/3 there, profit over the last 7 days. Waiting for that UFC action here this weekend with Millsy, and a great card here this week from Houston with Sean Strickland taking on Fluffy Hernandez with the middleweight contenders there. Of course, Strickland, goes up against some pretty elite guys and has been losing those fights of late. Former champ, but takes on Hernandez and his 8-fight winning streak here. He comes in off the win over Deladze last August as a fight night main event as a $3 favorite. So good one this weekend. Hernandez about -270 in that one over Strickland in the UFC on Saturday night. Al Nino 7-5 up there. Nick Lagaretto, Scott Doubleshooty, and Damian Sosh in the green over the last 7 days, last 30 days. Stephen Duncan waiting to get those hockey props going. Nick Lagaretto's up 24 units in the last month. Scott Doubleshooty up there as well. Joey Tron. There's Justin up there. He's up there 6 1/3 units over the last 30 days over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can click on the All Cappers tab, find the handicapper of your choice, click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. Check out all your favorite handicappers over here at Tony'sPicks.com, and there you see I'll have a package here of action, and I've had a pretty good run here. I had a tennis winner there on Monday, and also picked up one winner in college basketball, but just finished with a 2-2 day overall. And check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. You see some of the other sports where I've had some success here over the last 30 days and 7 days there. 6-3 in soccer, 6-3 in tennis. So let's keep it going here at Tony's Picks. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine here on Tuesday night. I'm going to be rolling in college basketball and probably a little bit of tennis. There's action right now, as a matter of fact, out at Dubai. If you're looking for a little bit of live sports betting action here, the tennis card is already underway. Watching a few matches here right now. I see Alexandrova trailing Maggie Lynette here. Also, Towson and Stearns Pegula dominating against Grisheva. All right. Now let me say hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Just you and me here tonight here on Night Moves. And who is joining us, man? So excited to have people in here right now. Tim M. joining me. Cal Dog ready to go. Mr. Weskers is here tonight. Also, Timmy Two Shoes ready to go here with our card. Man, well, we got this college basketball. And there's LALB talking about Justin having a great card there yesterday. Justin did us good here on the show. And I think that's ready here. You know there's going to be some booing there in the national anthems, but probably not in the neutral side. I think it'll be I don't know. I don't say pro-American necessarily. I mean, Canada's got some great representation as well there. And of course, I didn't fail to mention, man, I may not bury the lead here though, but we're back in action here in just short order with men's hockey coming up in about 3 hours here with Germany and France, followed by Switzerland and Italy. Those are two one-sided games, mostly a one-sided card here on Tuesday, but also Czechia and Denmark, 10:40 Eastern, 7:40 Pacific, and also Sweden and Latvia, the final game here of the day. 4 games in the men's side, but all of them are big favorites here on Tuesday, so I'm not looking too hard at the card here with you guys, but certainly have some hockey action coming up here in the middle of the night. Okay, I think we got everyone there in the chat. Good conversation going on. And LALB with a pretty good day there. And hey, Richie Rich joining us as well here in the chat. Thank you to have Richie Rich. We only got a dozen of you in here, but I guess we're going to have to go here right now. So let's get rolling with our show tonight and start to preview the action here in college basketball. That's what we got. All right, first up. Whoops, let me get rid of the... There we go. All right. Hey, just left a top-notch game, and we're going to join it with a top-notch game right here. Following last night's big game, first up on the board here, at least 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific time, our first up game between Michigan here and Purdue. But top teams here, Michigan now number 1, and they play Duke later this week. Whoa. Don't make me laugh here right now with Michigan. Tough schedule here this week. And Michigan, about 2.5-point favorite here against the Boilers on the road. And total here 155 or so with Michigan. Favored here in this one. Like I said, Michigan just voted the top of the polls here on the poll announced on Monday, but got to go on the road here where there are a favorite right now. Michigan, obviously on a long winning streak here at this point. They've also gone 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. Coming in 24-1, of course. Purdue 21-4, winners of 4 straight, but they've gone 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games at home. Granted, those were mostly in the favorite role. Been playing a lot of games on the road here and kind of came out with flying colors, road wins and covers at Maryland, Nebraska, and Iowa. So they're playing pretty well. Won 13 of their last 16, but just 3-8 against the spread in their last 11. This is only the third time this season that Purdue will be an underdog. They won and covered both those other two times. For Michigan, meanwhile, they're not a great spread team, but when you're laying all those points all the time, it makes it kind of tough. But of late, they've been covering them. Now they didn't cover on the road against Northwestern, but they pretty much blitzed UCLA the other day, and they also clobbered Penn State here at home as a 26.5, or at home against Penn State, a 26.5 point favorite. They did cover at Ohio State and at Michigan State. I mean, tough venues there, but still came through with flying colors. It's just that Purdue has a pretty rugged record, 5-10 against the spread at home. These two teams met last year a couple of times, and Michigan won the regular season matchup 75-73 is a 2.5 point favorite. But then later on in the postseason, Michigan got the money as a dog, 86-68 is a 2.5 point dog in that one. Michigan's 13-3-1 against the spread against the Boilers in the last 17 games. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Let's hear from you in the chat if you want to comment on this one between Michigan and Purdue here on Tuesday night. Who's got it with me in the chat? All right. Going to start with Mr. Weskers here. He's on the Boilermakers. Cal Dogs like in Michigan on the money line. LAOB's on Michigan's money line here. And also on the over. Yeah, these two teams, I mean, I think the trends kind of say under here, right? Michigan 10-15 to the under, Purdue 11-14 to the under, but Purdue does have some overs at home a little bit as well. It just seems though like Michigan though sometimes these road game, these games they play against tough teams, man, just seems like they still kind of bend under a little bit when they're up against fellow elites, if you want to call it that, over the last, because this Michigan team has been solid for obviously several years, and they're just adding to it. I mean, look, there's no doubt when Coach Howard was in there, it wasn't all glory, obviously there, but man, they really, this team's on fire here. What do we got? Timmy Choo liking the under here. Despite the total, oh wow, did it go up that much? Even I might have overslept that a little bit. Opened here, let's see, the send out 153 here, man. And now look at it at 156.5, 157. Gosh, is it really going to be like that? They're not going to, the steam definitely was rolling in here on the over here in this one. Come on, man. Is it really going to do that? Mr. Wester's got to like Purdue, he says here. This is a great game. All right, let's see here. That might be it from the crew in the chat. Last 4 games at Purdue. You mean in the series between the two at Purdue? I know when they played there last year, let me see here, 91-64. Purdue rocked them at West Lafayette there in two seasons ago in January of 25. Or last year, I should say. Last year's, I guess I skipped that. I was just talking about the postseason games, the last 2 with Michigan winning. But yeah, this one was January of last year. So Purdue did rock them at home there, and 155 points right on this total right here, right now. Wow. Okay, thanks, LALB. Good call. Man, I guess I got to make my call here in this one between Michigan and Purdue. I'm going to take the Wolverines here, and I'm going to lay the points. Give me Michigan to win it here at Purdue. I'm a believer in Purdue too. I think high level game here, but I don't know. I want to see what do I have on the screen there at 155. Circa did open at 157. It's actually, I don't know, man. Give me Michigan. I'm scared on the total. All right, good one there, man. All right, we got to step in and check in on the Miami of Ohio Redhawks here on the road, favored by 3 against UMass. I mean, how long can this team continue to flirt with danger? Now, UMass is just kind of mired in the middle of the standings, actually, right now in the MAC. But I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this one. Weird feelings don't get you anywhere, but. No doubt right now, man. How long can this Miami of Ohio team continue to win, even on, favored here? You might say only 3.5 right now, but still, it just feels like a big giant bubble ready to burst. Anyways, Miami of Ohio was ranked 22nd when the poll came out today. They won, crushed everything here, obviously, and even on the road, getting it done. I think they're 10-0 here right now on the road. UMass 10-3, straight up at home. Miami of Ohio 25-0 at this point. UMass terrific 8-1 against the spread as an underdog. Can you fathom that? They're not a good favorite at all. In fact, they're just 5-9 against the spread at home. Pretty much all those games. They're such a solid home team, but they failed to cover against Central Michigan as a favorite. Failed to cover against Eastern Michigan as a favorite. When the two teams met back on January 27th, it was 86-84. Remember that game in favor of Miami of Ohio, obviously, but they were laying a lot of points in that game. And Miami of Ohio needed to pull it out at the end. They were down by 4 at halftime. Ended up getting the win, but not the cover. And you just got to figure, man, it's got to be. Now, UMass is just 3-7 against the spread. Their last 10 games, 1-5 against the spread at home. But again, when they're getting the points, man, 8-1 this season. So just a crummy favorite and a terrific underdog, and that's what you want from a team that might be looking to pull off an upset here. Finally, Miami of Ohio, they're the better cover overall here still, even with all the pressure on them. They just came in off back-to-back covers against Marshall and Ohio over the weekend here with the Bobcats 90-74. They rocked them at home. They did fail at Buffalo. They covered against NIU 85-61, laying 16.5 at home. So they did show the penchant to get the cover at home in that one as well. So let's see what you got. What an intriguing matchup again here. Miami of Ohio still 14-9 against the spread in their last 19 overall. Miami of Ohio has gone under in 4 of their last 5, but UMass has gone over in 4 of their last 5. These two teams are combined 32-15 to the over this season. It is a massive number here at 163, but these teams are, not much D, pretty solid here. UMass goes over in conference play also quite a bit. Miami of Ohio 14-4 to the over as a favorite. Even at 163, I might be willing to take the over here as my play, but I don't know. You get a feeling to me. I'm not making it my play yet, but I like the over here in this one with Miami O and UMass. Let's see if you're ready to pull the trigger in the chat, or does Miami of Ohio continue on this incredible run here this season? All right. Cal Dog. Well, let's see here. I want to make sure I got the right game here. He might be on the under here. LALV is on the over here, Mr. Weskers. Like in UMass, Miami of Ohio. We know they pull. They're 25-0. We know that, but we've also known that they've pulled out some games by the slimmest of margins and got it done. They've had some clutch performances, and they could still do that here, and yet, UMass could still cover the number. Jimmy Chushu liking the over here. I mean, 163 here, and it does feel like it's actually gone down a little bit from a lot of the openers here. Timmy says Miami of Ohio, a good road team. Yeah. And, they're playing who they're playing, right? But it doesn't matter when you're coming in here undefeated on the road. Okay. Timmy Chushu on the over here. Cal Dog says they're not going to play the same. It might be some defense. Maybe, just maybe, if it is an under, it could be more beneficial to UMass. But I mean, under what? I mean, big total here, no doubt about it. All right, I'll take the over though. Oh boy, now we've got the Tar Heels on the road taking on North Carolina State. In this one, you got NC State favored by 6.5. Total here, 158.5, with North Carolina ranked 16th coming in after the latest poll. Now, they did have a loss last week, and, dropping that game at Miami. They were a slight favorite, ended up losing by 9. Meanwhile, for NC State, they come in here off of a couple losses. They are 18-8 so far this season, but just a mediocre proposition really when it comes to the spread. Meanwhile, North Carolina 3-6 against the number on the road this season. That kind of stands out really. They especially after losing that game against the Miami Hurricanes. For NC State, they just lost to Miami as well at home, 77-76 as a 5.5 point favorite. They also lost at Louisville. Remember, got blown out last week, 118-77. They've actually failed to cover in 4 straight games right now. Talking about the North Carolina State Wolfpack. The Heels have won 6 of their last 7, going 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. North Carolina has covered 14 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams. 9 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams have gone over, including the most recent meeting between the clubs last year at Chapel Hill. 97-73 is a 10.5 point favorite. Carolina got the win and cover in a high scoring game, but the earlier meeting at North Carolina State was 63-61. Carolina got the win, but did not cover in that game. North Carolina State has won 6 of their last 8 overall. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but NC State's gone over in 7 of their last 8. Of late, these two teams are definitely going over here right now, the way things are going. No doubt about that. Let's hear from you in the chat in this one between North Carolina and North Carolina State. There's no doubt that this total is 158. You look at North Carolina State's conference home games, they never go this high. In their last 18 conference home games, it has never even gone higher than 150, this total. They've not, in their last 18 conference home games, they've never had the game go over this number of 158.5. So I don't know, that feels pretty serious here, even though these two teams have been real strong to the over of late. Should be mentioned that Carolina, as an underdog, is 2-3 to the under. A short sample for sure, but when you've got so many overs with these teams combined right now, Carolina 8-2 to the over in their last 10, NC State 8-2 to the over in their last 10. I'm not sure I'm buying it here. Shouldn't this be knockdown, drag out? between these two teams at this point. Taking a look currently here at the standings in the Atlantic Coast Conference coming in, you've got NC State at 9-4, and obviously Carolina here comes in 8-4. So yeah, it's not going to be catching Duke or anything like that, or Virginia, but still feels like a great game, of course, between these rivals. Let's see what you have in the chat. I think I'm on the under here, gang, to be honest with you. These, like I said, yeah, you're playing Carolina, but you're also playing some other great ACC teams at home. And, of course, the injury bug. I don't know if you guys, I haven't looked in the chat yet, but you've got to be I shouldn't bury the lead here that North Carolina is missing their top two scorers, I do believe, here in this one. And Caleb Wilson, he's out of this game right now. So, yeah, Carolina's got injury troubles here, no doubt about it right now with Wilson and Visar. Let me see. He's on the injured list. He's questionable. Matt Lekovich is out here. Brown is out. So big-time injuries for North Carolina in this game. It's going to put a lot of pressure on them. But actually the move here has been on North Carolina, it feels like. It's gone from maybe 7-6 here in a few spots, but this is a tough situation for North Carolina given these injuries right now for sure. Wilson's out for obviously an extended period of time. Okay, here we go. But Mr. Wesker, just not, it's more a fate of NC State, I think he's saying here. Good morning to Nexus as well. Mr. Weskers says Heels with the spread, though. I mean, that's just it. You're getting plenty of points here with North Carolina. It's built in, right? It's built in here with North Carolina. So that's one thing. You're still North Carolina, man. You got players coming right up here. All right, let's see here. North Carolina State sure does like the over, says Timmy. Cal Dogs also liking the points, so I think everyone in the chat kind of saying over adjustment here a little bit with this injury report. All right, LALB liking the under here. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking the under in this one as my play. Of course I am. Okay. Okay, Tubichusa says it was 5.5 earlier, so NC State. And there's LALB. He likes the Heels here as well. Sharps are on NC State, though, says Mr. Weskers. Maybe because of those injuries. All right, Nexus wants a Wisconsin and Ohio State game. Yeah, we're going to get to that one. All right, give me the under here in this one. Yeah, hopefully we're going over the best games on the card here. There's some other ones too, but I picked 8 games, I think, tonight. So, I did skip over kind of some one-sided games in there, teams like, Florida, South Carolina. But, we said Vegas Al talking about the Gators earlier and some other pretty good matchups. I mean, the Billikens are playing again here tonight. So there's some other good games on this card for sure. My San Diego State team up against Grand Canyon sure does make a difference with Magoon Guath in there. Goon is the man you want in the lineup there, and some others. Baylor and K-State with their new head coach, Georgia and Kentucky. But let me keep it going here right now on Night Moves. We'll go to the ACC with Louisville taking on SMU here for the Bill. Favored in this one by 4. Total here 166 with Louisville on the road. Wow. All right, let's take a look. Louisville comes in here ranked 21st in today's poll with this current winning streak that they're on right now. And for SMU, they are coming in off of a loss, a snapped 2-game winning streak. They lost to Syracuse on the road, 79-78 as a short favorite. Before that, they had wins over Pitt and Notre Dame, although they did not cover against Notre Dame at home in an 8-point win when laying 10. For Louisville here, they are 10-7 against the spread as a favorite, and SMU just 6-9 against the spread at home. Louisville comes in here 4-8 against the spread. Their last 12 games overall, they're 2-6 against the spread. Their last 8 games on the road, they're winners of 5 straight right now in conference play, and that's kind of continued to catapult them towards the top of the pack here. But again, they're in the same situation as North Carolina and North Carolina State, basically the same record as those two teams. Louisville has gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall, but SMU's gone over in 6 of their last 10. These two teams met back in January, and it was 88-74. Louisville won it at home as a 9.5-point favorite. They also covered in last year's game, 98-73 at SMU as a 2-point underdog. SMU just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games overall, although they've won at home here 13 of 15 overall at home. Still, they're just 3-7 straight up as an underdog. Louisville's gone under in 10 of their last 15 coming into this one. And this one's been moving lower here despite the high number. It was 167 or so, maybe 167.5. So it has been moving lower here for sure. Let's go to the chat and see this one here with Louisville taking on SMU here tonight. Louisville also, I mean, yes, you are on the road against this SMU team that, like I said, they do produce a few unders, a few more overs than unders, but they're not a big under team. However, Louisville in these conference games, man, they usually don't get up to even into the 160s, really. All right, let's see what you have. I mean, they've had a few. I mean, don't get me wrong. We just talked about that NC State game was an absolute blowout, but usually on these weeknight games, let's go to the chat, see what you have here with Louisville taking on SMU tonight. I might have a problem with this total. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a very high-scoring game. Boy. Okay, here we go. Cal Dog is on the Louisville money line. Timmy Chushu says Louisville's down 3.5 after opening 2.5. So maybe the move is on Louisville here. Definitely saw some openers there at 2.5, no doubt about it. DK opened 2.5, and we've only seen the move here on Louisville so far. Hey, want to say hello to SM Groovy. Nice to have him in the chat. Hey, SM, you go ahead. I mean, I'm not one to hate the fade. I mean, we're both trying to eke out a living here at 56%. So no doubt about it. Hey, let's keep it going here. I want to say hello and thank you to SM Groovy for the shout out there. And great to have him in the chat tonight. SMU's an auto over. I get that, Timmy Chushu, no doubt about it. With some of these numbers right now, some of these games they're putting up here. The Notre Dame game went for 190. NC State game 167 was an over. So LALB likes Louisville in the points and under. I've got to go under. I mean, this is, I don't think it's kind of. Similarly, right, comparing it, I know the North Carolina State game was 158.5, but I just think those type of rivalry games might have something a little bit more than, but this is just high. All right. And SM Groovy liking SMU. Thanks, SM Groovy, to be a member of the Chat Pros here tonight. I'm taking the under here with the Louisville and SMU. Maybe I'm just hey, look, I'm throwing out some trends. I'm throwing out some records, spreads, totals, and a little bit of market movement in there. But man, I feel like just watching these Louisville games. Maybe it's only the TV games that seem to be unders of here. I might be just going with the eye test a little bit in this one, but I'll trust the move a little bit. Give me the under. And that's about, and also, I don't know if SM Guru is talking about a side or a total, but I'm kind of a totals specialist. So I usually probably give out as many totals as anybody doing these shows. We're kind of 50-50 there, or maybe even more totals. Who knows? Okay, I want to take one more look here. Let's go to the A10 tonight and take a look with these two with uh, VCU right now on fire at home. So I just want to hit on them tonight. Just take another quick look at some other conference play here. With the A10, you've got here VCU on a 9-game winning streak right now. They're trying to chase down St. Louis. I don't think they're going to do it, but I just wanted to mention this team here right now because VCU is getting on a little bit of a roll. Here. They're in second place in the A10, well clear of Mason now. And St. Louis is 12-0, VCU 11-2 coming into this one. Total here, another one, 162. This one's been on the rise for sure here. Actually, a few books are actually moving it down. I actually show the openers higher than, what I think the problem here is this number is too high on the screen. It's definitely gone down here to 162.5 or so since I typed these graphics in here tonight. Back when I was watching the figure skating earlier, that's what you do on this week. Well, it's the Olympics. All right. So, yeah, this one's been on the move here higher for sure. Now, I don't know. Again, I might be a little bit skeptical of that move, although I must say the moves yesterday were, the moves yesterday were on fire. There's no doubt about it. And some of those SWAC and MEACs there, it seemed like if you just followed the move, you were winning last night. But, hey, that's a little different in those conferences. This money is a little bit sharper. For sure. But hey, let's continue on here in the A10 with this one. George Washington 15-11 coming in. VCU 20-6 now. With I think it's the fourth longest winning streak in the country right now for VCU. It's 9 in a row here at this point. So good job here for VCU. For George Washington, they come in here off of a couple of wins as well over Rhode Island and George Mason. They covered against Mason at home, 72-53 last time out. GW hasn't been a great cover, but they're a mediocre underdog at least, 3-3 against the spread overall. VCU is not great at home, 5-11 against the spread. A lot of them as a favorite for sure. So as good as they've been, sometimes they are laying a little bit too many. They're just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. With they failed at home against Loyola, 89-75, laying 18.5. They also laid too many on the road to Fordham in a 4-point win, laying 7.5, and they also didn't cover against LaSalle on the road, 77-68 win, laying 12.5. George Washington, though, just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. Now, GW is 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games against George Washington, against VCU. GW 4-1. I hope I got that right there. 4-1 ATS in the last 5 meetings between the two teams. Have not yet met this year, but last year the game here at VCU, GW won 84-82. Although VCU returned the favor. There a month, or I'm sorry, that was 2 years. The last meeting here was 2 years ago. Last year's meeting was 80-72 at George Washington. VCU got the win, but did not cover, but only by the hook. George Washington has gone under in 7 of their last 8 games. VCU's gone under in 6 of their last 8 games coming into this one. However, 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone over, and the move is to the over here. But, man, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'm buying it necessarily here again on this one. Maybe I'm just getting too skeptical of all these overs here for all these high scores right now. But, for every 160 out there, I mean, then you watch these a game come in, some clunker here, 60 3 to 58 or something like that. Anyways, it just seems like George Washington in these road games never go this high at 162, man. I know it's VCU. I know this offense is hot, but they're not overwhelmingly over here. Am I going to take another total? Let me go to the chat first and see. Maybe I'll be on a side. I talk about all these uh, trends and everything I follow, but I'm handicapping my handicappers in here. They got the winners right now. Let's see what they've got. George Washington and VCU. Jimmy says the total has gone down here in this one. Okay. Up, right? Down from to 162. I'm showing mostly out there right now. Let me make sure I got it right here. 162. Did I change it correctly there in the? Yeah. Okay. No doubt. So maybe the proper move. Let me mark that. Maybe the proper move is the under here. I just stop taking some totals here and let's see what else we got. Oh, okay. VCU spread, says Timmy. I think that's what he's saying. Oh, no. I think, VCU. He has to take him. VCU, says Mr. Weskers. Here, you guys are willing to lay it with this hot VCU team here. I gotcha. All right. And let's see here. Cal Dog, also VCU. SM Groovy. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It couldn't be Smagroovy, but I do like that too. VCU and under here. Okay, you guys are mostly on the side, so I'll go to the total. I don't feel bad. Okay. I'm going to go with another under here. I'm going to take this one. It's already gone under, so I've already lost some value here. So let me take an under here on the show at 162.5 or so. And I'm noting that line move there. Oh, it's Smagroovy? Maybe it's right. Smagroovy? I got to go to Smagroovy? I don't mind that. It's a little bit easier than SM Groovy. I like Smagroovy. Okay, I'll take the under. You guys are telling me VCU, so I'm going to note that here. Chat pros on VCU tonight. Okay. All right, Groovy. I like that so much better. Thank you for being a member of the Chat Pros tonight. I hope to see you again. All right, let's keep it going here right now with Wisconsin and Ohio State. And this one, you got Whiskey on the road here, 1.5 total, 156.5. With this great matchup here. You got Wisconsin. They were ranked in the poll today at 24, coming off of a couple of wins last week. Beat MSU, of course, with a great win at home as an underdog, 92-71. They crushed Sparty, and they also won that overtime game at Illinois. So Wisconsin picking up a little momentum here and a slight favorite on the road against the Bucks. Bucks lost that made-for-TV matchup in Nashville, 70-66. So, you know what? I don't know if you can just throw it out necessarily. They didn't look that great, but they did cover in that game. So they did put forth a pretty decent effort there. Wisconsin's been the better cover here so far, 5-3 ATS on the road, 10-8 ATS is a favorite. Meanwhile, Ohio State just 7-10 against the spread at home, but 5-4 against the spread as a dog, and it's closely rated. So you might just look who's going to win. Wisconsin's won 6 of the last 7 meetings against the Ohio State Buckeyes, including a win back in January, 92-82 at home. Whiskey beat them up pretty good. Covered 4.5. The only failure that Wisconsin had in the last 7 was the meeting in January of last year at home when they won against Ohio State, but didn't cover 6.5. So still, they won the game there. They won 4 straight in the series as well in that 6-1 straight up span. Wisconsin 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. Whiskey's gone over in 7 of its last 10. Ohio State's gone over in 4 of their last 5 at home, but this is an under series. 5 of the last 6 meetings have gone under, including 4 of the last 5 here in Columbus. Ohio State is 3-6 to the under as an underdog. Whiskey's been mostly an over this season, but not by much. And usually when Ohio State kind of in these home games, conference play, like I said, more the eye test for me, I think, when I watch these Ohio State games at home. But usually when they're taking on the tougher the team, the lower the score, it seems like to me, when they are at home playing top 25 teams. That's what it feels like to me. So I think Wisconsin kind of has the upper hand, and they kind of keep Ohio State down here again is what I feel like what's going to happen. But let me go to the chat before I make my play and see which you guys prefer here. Okay. Wisconsin's an auto bet, says Timmy Choo Shoes. He'd lay it. I think that's what he's saying there. Let's see here. Mr. Wesker is still Ohio State. You can't deny these guys sometimes. Look, they beat USC here. You know what, though? They didn't cover in that game against USC at home. And, of course, they lost to Michigan at home. Now, they, got blown out, but they were only 9-point underdogs. So it wasn't a great effort at home. It seems like when they play teams that maybe they're favored against, they're okay. But this one's so close. Cal Dogs on Bucky Badger. And Timmy says Wisconsin's got a lot of momentum. LALB on Wisconsin. Mr. Wesker says, though, any higher, and he's ready to pull the trigger. Nexus says it's got to be Whiskey. LALB's on Whiskey. And Mobley's been out here. Big blow here, no doubt, for Ohio State here. To me, he's the best player, the best team player on this team right now. So, yeah, big injury. Thank you for noting that. And let's see what his status is here. Out indefinitely still. So, bummer for John Mobley Jr. here. And Nexus says, doesn't matter. These Buckeyes are having some issues right now. They are, 11-3 at home. They have a nice home court, but like I said, when they're an underdog, just 2-7 straight up, don't show much of a penchant. Again, closely rated, so let's be fair. What's Timmy Chushu saying here about the total? I see the total's gone down here, so it's moving under. That's what I feel like. I feel like I said, when Ohio State plays good teams at home, it turns into more of a defensive game. Wisconsin money line is moved there. And Mr. Westford says 11-3, starting to like those Buckeyes a little bit at home. Wisconsin 4-2 straight up on the road. All right, gang. I guess I got to make my call here with these two. Wisconsin, they've won 9 of the last 11 and have been pretty great. You guys are I'll go to the total again because you guys have so many great opinions on the side. Maybe I'm agreeing with the Wisconsin backers in there. So let me take the under here in this one. Like I said, I just think I got all the Jimmy says Ramon's got all the stat. I got the stat sheet over here. I got the stat sheet over here. I got the stats over here I can look at all times. And you had to kind of refer to just watching the games every night, just watching it with the eye test. Oh, well, that's part of it. Okay, thanks, you guys. A good one there. We're still going. We got a couple more here tonight. I wish there were more. You guys are on fire tonight. Man. Okay, I think I got a good one here for you with the Cornhuskers taking on Iowa. With Iowa favorite here at home by 2 against the 6th-ranked team in the country. Or, well, 6th and I got 9th-ranked team. I think they were 9th in the poll today right now. I just love the Big Ten. Anyways, but Nebraska, maybe more so. I just love them because they cover so many spreads. That's what you like about the Cornhuskers for sure. 6-1 against the spread on the road. 4-0 against the spread as an underdog this season are the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They didn't win; they lost one of those games, but still 3-1 straight up as a dog. Iowa, though, meanwhile 11-6 against the spread as a favorite. These two teams have not yet met this season, but last year Iowa won them both and covered. At home as a favorite, on the road as a dog, beating Nebraska 83-68. On the road, won the game at home 97-87, laying 4.5 or so, and a kind of a high-scoring game, if you know what I mean. This really is going to be 139 between these two right now. Now, I know Nebraska, yes, at home, they're playing better defense than I've seen in a long time. Even through this streak of good Nebraska teams, it does seem like they're a little bit special. But on the road, not so much. I mean, I feel like the scores go a little bit higher. And look at, like I said, I'm not comparing it. It was only a year ago, but it was 184 points scored in the game last year. Now, one did go to overtime, but it still was 150. Something like that, 150, low 150s at the end of regulation in that game. So let's see what you have here with Nebraska taking on Iowa here tonight. And again, I just look at, when Nebraska's on the road in conference play, usually they've given it up in the past, it feels like to me. Yes, maybe this is supposed to be obviously is a real good Nebraska team, but there are underdogs in this game. All right, I'm going to go to the chat, get your plays in this one with Nebraska coming in, having gone here 22-3 this season. Start of the season, obviously hot here, but they are just 2-7 straight up in their last 9 games against the Hawkeyes, and 3-6 against the spread in their last 9, including the last 3 won by Iowa. Iowa's just 2-5 ATS in their last 7 games, 6-2 straight up in their last 8. Nebraska has gone under in 15 of their last 19 games, but Iowa's gone over in 5 of 6, and the series has gone over in 7 of 9. All right, I'll see what you have here. I think you guys know what I'm doing with the total, but maybe I can try a side here. But let's see how hot you guys are on it. If it's a split, maybe I'll cast a deciding vote for once. I need to have some sides in here, don't I? All right, here we go. Mr. Weskos is tired of Nebraska. All right. Hey, want to say hello to Jared Cunningham in the chat. He likes Nebraska here right now on the road. Doesn't mind what he's seeing from this club here. Also, want to just take a quick look at the standings here. Obviously, these two are not quite up there with Michigan yet, but Nebraska's 2.5 back at 11-3. Iowa 18-7, 8-6 overall. In addition to the big Purdue and Michigan game, Michigan State's taking on UCLA in a pretty good one tomorrow as well. LALB's on the over here with me. Timmy Two Shoes, another Nebraska boat there, but Mr. Wesker says this is Iowa's time. And Timmy, did I have oh, wow, Timmy, maybe did I miss the total update here? What do I have on the screen? 139? Oh, my goodness, you guys. Oh, no, I've got it at 139 here right now. What did you say, though? The total has moved to, I'm showing 139s pretty much everywhere right now. Let me know what book you have that at, and I'm interested in that. Now, the send-out was definitely lower here. I believe the opener was closer to 136.5, 137, and it's only gone up. So I feel like I'm kind of missing the boat if I take a total here, but I might have to do it here on night moves because I thought it was going to keep moving higher, and I was panicking. Okay, let me see here. What else we got? For the last meeting, for the last 5 meetings over. Oh, on the road. Oh, at Iowa. Gotcha. Cal dogs liking the corn. And Mr. Weskers wants me to take some more sides. I want to too. And want to say hello to L.A. Shack in there. Or maybe it's La Shack. Or maybe it's Low Shack. Could it be? No. But I want to say thank you to L.A. Shack. Or maybe let me know on that name there. Great to have you in there joining us late night. Iowa likes to go over them 130 total. They do. And I think that's what and Nebraska too. Like I said, to me, I just think of these when I when I see these Nebraska games. I don't mean to keep going back to the well here a little bit, but when I watch these Nebraska games, it seems these weeknight games and they're on the road, uh, conference game. They just don't have the enough defense, even if it is Iowa here. I don't know. Cal Dog's psychology into what Ramon picks. Well, there's no doubt. I mean, okay, thank you, Timmy. Wow, yeah, gone up here, boy. I might have to just take a total. All right. L.A. Shack says he's got St. John's to win the Big East there. Okay, Mr. Wester doesn't even play the totals, man. Okay. And Jimmy on the over here, and LALB liking the over there in that one. All right. Well, I can't ignore. I'm taking another total here tonight. I didn't take all totals, did I? Oh no, I took Michigan there, obviously, but all totals since. Oh boy. Oh man. Okay, that's okay. Like I said, I specialize in totals here. Okay, let's get one more here on the show, and let's see what we got. It's the final game on the card here. Big 12 action tonight with Texas Tech taking on Arizona State in Tempe. All right, let's see what we got here with Tech, a pretty big favorite on the road for sure. They were ranked 13th today when the poll came out. They've won 3 in a row here, including wins over the week over Arizona. 78-75 is a 9-point dog on the road. Tech had that impressive win behind Toppin, 31 points there last time out for Colorado. Meanwhile, for ASU, meanwhile, they lost at home to Oak State a week ago. They haven't played in a week here right now, so well rested. But have won 2 of their last 3. Also won at Utah. ASU, pretty good cover here, 10-5. ATS is a dog. Texas Tech just 8-10 against the spread as a favorite, but they are 5-3. ATS on the road. These two teams have not yet met this season, but last year met twice in the new conference, and Texas Tech won them both. Although they did not cover at home, they did win at ASU 85-57. They really pummeled them, actually, there. But still, big favorite here, 8.5. It does feel like a class difference, however.
Critical notice.
Let's see what you guys have in the chat here in this one. Texas Tech. All right, Tech comes in here having won 12 of their last 15. They've covered 6 of their last 8 overall. They've won 4 of their last 5 on the road. I think they were lost a couple of games early on, but Arizona State's dropped 10 of their last 14 games coming in. You wonder how long they can really, go with Hurley here. I heard Vegas Al talking about him a little bit earlier, but they have covered 4 of their last 5 at home and 5 of their last 6 overall. ASU's gone under in 5 straight games. Tech's gone under in 4 of their last 5. I might have to pick a side here, but hey, ASU is 8-7 to the over as an underdog. I guess I could try to find some way this one could go over. Let me hear from you again. Just feels like another one of those where I just watch too much ASU home basketball and they really can't compete against big-time teams. That's what it feels like. Let's see what you have, though, in this one. I want to get you guys in the chat on our last game of the show. All right. Look at that. Mr. Weskers already was on top of that. Tech to smash by double digits here. This team is looking strong here. And let's see,
Critical
Cow
notice.
Dog on Texas Tech. Total's been moving here, says Jimmy Two Shoes. Do I have it right? 154 right now is what I'm showing. Yeah, 154 here. Definitely has moved down for sure. I mean, that's the only way I can go, to be honest with you. So let's see here. LALB likes them by 12. And Jimmy Two Shoes says maybe this Arizona State team can compete, getting all these points at home. You know, they do have some injuries, man. I mean, they're missing guys left and right here. Definitely several players. Gerbovich, he's questionable, but Ford is doubtful. McCoy is out. Polk is out. Adams Jr. is out. These are all short-term injuries here for this game. Now, it's not the bulk of the lineup here, but that's a lot. I got to take Texas Tech to roll here in this one and lay 8.5 here on Night Moves. All right, I guess that's it for the show. Thank you guys so much for a great job by the chat pros tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Night Moves. Talk more college basketball. One more day after that, we'll get to some NBA. Tell you what, speaking of totals, those totals in the NBA have already been on the move. The Sharps are already betting. It feels like a lot of those NBA games here, the spreads have been out for a couple of days, and the totals are getting hit. I'll tell you that right now on some of those games. All right, that's going to do it here for Night Moves. Make sure you head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. Check me out over at Tony's Picks. I've had a pretty good start to the season. We gave some units back this weekend for sure. A little bit steamy over here, but be ready to go here on Tuesday night in college basketball. Also, be looking at Champions League. I think I got a premium or two in the Champions League tomorrow. I'm going to be hard-pressed to not get on a third, but with only 4 games, I mean, let's dial it back. We've had some good soccer results here, obviously, of late, and good results on the courts here. Like I said, big matches underway. I'm watching Mertens and Navarro here, the great tournament in Dubai here this week. So I'll be looking at some tennis, but some of these women's matches were tough today for me. All right, that's going to do it. Thanks a lot, everybody. And also, don't forget, use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15%. That's going to do it for Night Moves here. We'll be back tomorrow. More Night Moves for the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. So long from Night Moves.